welcome to All Steelers Talk, your home for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, presented by allsteelers.com. Hello, beautiful people. It is Thursday, November 11th. It's Week 10. The Pittsburgh Steelers host the Detroit Lions on Sunday at Heinz Field at 1 o'clock. This is All Steelers Talk. It's Thursday, which means we have plenty of bets. Odell Beckham Jr. is on his way to LA. Is it a good thing? Is it a better thing for the Cleveland Browns? Maybe we saw a little bit of that over the weekend. On top of that, the Steelers are dealing with plenty of injuries, but that's okay. Everything's fine because it's the 0-8 Detroit Lions headed to Pittsburgh. Donnie, I don't know if you're still sharing this link, but how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good. I just got out the YouTube, so I'm hitting tweet right now. So that is live on the All Steelers account. Then let me just switch over to my personal one at Donnie Druin, wink face, and then share that one.
Make sure everybody to check us out on Twitter, at YouTube, and on Facebook. But make sure specifically to subscribe. I think we hit 600 subscribers the other day, which is awesome. Hitting for 1,000. Once we get to 1,000, I mean, before we hit to 1,000, we'll give out another giveaway. Last time we gave out a signed Minkah Fitzpatrick jersey. Shout out to Derek the Kid. Derek the Kid Fridays on Fridays. But there's a lot to talk about outside of our YouTube subscribers. Odell Beckham Jr. headed to the Rams after a blowout in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield sucks. The Cleveland Browns suck. I got to get out of here. My dad's posted an 11-minute video of how bad my quarterback is. He can't do that with Matthew Stafford, first of all. Second of all, I don't know if he expects to be the number one guy in LA, but he's probably going to be the number 3. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What are your thoughts on this OBJ move?
I feel like I'm one of the few people out there that thinks Odell can contribute to some capacity. I feel like he still has a lot left in the tank in terms of just making crazy acrobatic plays. I feel like if the Browns had a better quarterback who was better at throwing the football, and Jarvis Landry wasn't there, and the Browns weren't a run-first team, I feel like the Browns might have fared fine. But like we've hammered on this podcast over and over again, that just wasn't a good marriage from the start, and eventually everybody kind of figured it would boil down to whatever happened. And what happened was Odell left. Odell said he wasn't happy, got himself out of there, and now he found himself on the Los Angeles Rams. They do like to run the ball a lot, but I think an offense featured with a guy like Sean McVay, who is very good at scheming guys open, that already features a receiving core with guys like Robert Woods, with guys like Cooper Kupp. It's interesting because if he wants a bunch of targets, if he wants a bunch of looks, I don't think LA is exactly the place to go to be quote unquote the guy. So right now, I think he might be chasing after a potential playoff run with some team, because it was down to either the Rams or the Packers. So he'd be playing almost second fiddle to any team that he went to.
Aaron Rodgers and Odell Beckham Jr. The headlines there would be perfect for each other. Some would say. Got to give a shout out to our guy Anthony over here, Ross Township. Thank you for jumping on. We appreciate you. Odell Beckham, I don't know, man. Like, I've been very skeptical of OBJ since his time with the Giants. I've been real open about that with you, with everybody else. I don't want to tarnish someone's reputation. That's not what I'm ever here to do. I understand that OBJ was once an all-pro caliber wide receiver. Maybe that's still there. He's only he's 29 years old. At the same time, he's had 2 great seasons with the Giants, a few lackluster years after that, and then terrible years with the Cleveland Browns, whether that's injuries or his disconnect with Baker Mayfield. There's a lot going on there, obviously. It's hard to say that he's going to go to LA and be a top-notch guy. It's hard to say that he's going to go to LA and outbeat Cooper Kupp, outbeat Robert Woods, outbeat Van Jefferson. When that happens, that's when I feel like things could get a little concerning, because we've seen it in the past. If he's not getting the ball, he's not happy. If he was going to a team that's not a contender, he was going to cause problems. And again, I don't want to tarnish anybody's reputation, but this is what has been out there. He's not going to be the top option in LA. He's not going to be the second option in LA. They start losing, things start going wrong. He's obviously made it known that's not what he's about. That's not what he's looking to do. I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of ifs very concerning ifs for the LA Rams right now. On the other side of that argument, though, they've done this like 10 times already, and they've hit on every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget that even without Odell, the Rams' offense is very, very good and very efficient. So if you can get the upside that Odell offers, which is just another playmaker for Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford to target basically whenever they feel like, I mean, that Rams offense is going to be very hard to stop on top of one of the best defensive units in the league. Every position, I feel like on the defensive side of the ball, they have ballers. And, obviously they're one of the better teams in the NFC to this point. And like I already said, it's just a little bit earlier. If Odell can shine through and allow his play on the field to do a lot of the talking, I don't think he's going to get crazy numbers. I don't see him getting 10 targets per game like Cooper Kupp. I don't really see him, elevating himself to that premier role we saw him with the New York Giants. But I mean, just to have a talented guy like Odell as that second or third passing option, once he gets himself fully acclimated, I mean, it's just the rich get richer, right? I mean, that, like I said, that Rams offense was already pretty damn solid heading into it. And so I think they're kind of banking on, hey, if Odell doesn't work out, oh, well, we're going to send him to a 1-year deal. Who cares? Our offense is fine as it is. But if Odell does, pan out like a lot of people think he can be, then it's just another tool for our offensive guys to go out and hammer home.
Let me ask this question. Does it end up like an AB Steelers situation where he leaves Cleveland just like AB left Pittsburgh, forced his way out, goes and somehow wins a Super Bowl?
I mean, maybe the Rams were already, a popular pick to win a Super Bowl. I want to see the popular pick just because there's a slew of other teams in front of them. But, they certainly have their hat in the mix. I would say a contender for sure. And, definitely a playoff team this year and, a couple of years down the road. Super Bowl, I'm not sure. How great would it be, though, for Browns fans that have to watch Odell win a Super Bowl with the Rams following, his kind of forced exit out of Cleveland?
Is that okay? So Odell's and AB's situations very different, obviously. Very more dramatic in AB's side.
Gummy dicks at anybody, so yeah.
No, he never threw gummy dicks at anybody. He never threw furniture off a balcony at an old man. He never called out. He did call out the quarterback. Obviously AB's situation up here and Odell Beckham's is I don't want to say all the way down here, but it's definitely less dramatic. I don't think anything gets worse though than when Steelers fans had to watch Antonio Brown not only win a Super Bowl, but win a Super Bowl after receiving a touchdown pass from the one and only Tom Brady, which made everybody's night terrible. I don't know about you, but I was sitting on the couch. I was a little drunk and I was very upset at that situation, as I believe a lot of other people are. I think that's just what the NFL does. They just take these guys that somehow they're very talented and they, run their mouth a little bit, and then they put them in good situations because talent oversees everything. And then you're stuck with Browns fans doing their thing. At the same time, Baker and the Browns, they look good on Sunday.
Yeah, they responded very, very well against a very good Cincinnati Bengals team, at least this year, or at least prior to the last 2 weeks of football. So, I mean, they showed up, they answered, and I think that kind of shows you they're going to rally around each other. They're going to play for every guy in the locker room, which is exactly what a football team should do.
What are the odds here that somehow it ends up being Baker versus OBJ and Super Bowl?
Oh, dude, don't get me started. Oh, I mean,
could it happen? I think it could actually happen.
That would be. Oh man, like every Steelers fan got to root for the Rams in that scenario, right?
Yeah, you have to.
No question.
You have to. Yeah. I could care less about it. It's not like we're sitting here just like, oh man, OBJ, man, I'm so mad at you. You're very mean to Baker Mayfield. It's just like, I kind of see where he's coming from. I get it. Good for him. Glad that he.
I too would also want out of Cleveland, so respect.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was at Cleveland a couple weeks ago. I realized really quick. I was like, this place sucks. What are we doing here?
LeBron left twice.
LeBron left 2 times.
Yeah.
2 times. Actually, if we're being real, I searched that city high and low, and maybe I'm just blind as bat. I could not find the Cleveland Cavaliers arena anywhere. Like nowhere at all. I found the Indian Stadium without even trying to look. I don't even think the Cavs actually play there. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
They play like Dayton or something like that.
They might actually. That's why he left twice. In Pittsburgh Steelers news, Najee Harris and Kendrick Green have both been added to the injury report. Not good news for the Steelers. Najee is dealing with a foot injury. Kendrick Green, a hamstring, who this is not his first time dealing with the hamstring injury this season. He hasn't missed games, but it's still concerning. Both of them popped up on Thursday, which leads you to believe that they were both suffered the injury during practice on Thursday, or they were both limited. What are your first thoughts on this? How concerning is this for the Steelers?
The injuries keep piling up, man. At least it feels like, and if not injuries, then at least names on the injury report, which is never a good thing. That offensive line needs every ounce of help it can get. So Kendrick Green being out, would not be a very good ideal scenario. And then obviously Najee Harris has been so key and instrumental to the team's success, and that relationship there between the offensive line and the running back is so pivotal. And I know a lot of people would talk about Le'Veon Bell's, patient running style and, allowing his blocks to evolve ahead of him before hitting the hole and this and that. And I feel like what made that partnership so great between Lev and the front five was the chemistry, the offensive line knowing they would have the ability to go and make those blocks, and Le'Veon just letting them do their thing and then hitting the hole. We're kind of seeing the same thing here with Najee a little bit, not to those extents, at least not yet. But I mean, it just whenever everything was kind of gelling for the Steelers running game, just when things were starting to get going a little bit, these two guys pop up on the injury. We don't know if they're going to make it on Sunday, but obviously two huge losses if they can't go.
Huge. The Steelers injury report as of Thursday was long. Ben Roethlisberger did not practice. He's obviously still dealing with a pec, a hip, and a right shoulder. Chase Claypool has a toe injury. He's probably not going to play this week, hasn't practiced yet. And then on top of Najee and Kendrick, Robert Spillane has an ankle injury and Cam Hayward has an ankle injury. Both of them were limited in practice on Thursday after being full participants on Wednesday. It is not a good place to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. And I get it's the Detroit Lions. They're winless, blah, blah, blah. They've looked terrible. Dealing with this many injuries is never good, especially when every single one of them is a key player. It's not like, oh, this is, a whatever injury. Najee Harris doesn't play. It's Benny Snell Jr. time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that it could get any worse than that. And you could say oh yeah, well, Ben's going to play. Ben probably is going to play, but Ben plays without Chase Claypool. It's Deontay Johnson and James Washington with Ray McLeod at the slot, Cody White as the backup on the outside. And then they probably call Anthony Miller up to do whatever he can do, but he's still a practice squad guy. He's been cut from two teams. You can only expect so much from those guys. And like I said, Benny Snell Jr., that is not a place anybody needs to be. I don't care who you're playing.
Well, what's Anthony McFarland and Kalen Balaj up to nowadays?
Anthony McFarland was not active on Sunday.
Yeah.
Healthy scratch. And that was Tomlin just saying, hey, he wasn't part of the game plan. And that's concerning because maybe it was just the Chicago defense and they saw that they could exploit things in different ways. But they use Benny Snell out in the slot. They use Benny Snell in passing downs. They're using Kalen Balaj a little bit. It just doesn't make sense to say Anthony McFarland fits the mold for all of these things, but we're not going to use him. That has to say maybe he isn't doing what we expected, or on top of that, he's still not 100% from whatever it was, or he suffered a little bit of a setback. I don't know. Either way, you have to go in there with the anticipation, that it's Benny Snell Jr. and Kalen Balaj.
Well, here's the thing. If Najee doesn't play, which I'm hopeful he will, and it is forced to be the Benny Snell show, that's really whenever you need to rely on a really good passing attack. And with Claypool very likely being out, with Juju already out, and it's just being Deontay, James Washington, dudes like you and me out there, it's
dudes like you and me
not looking great, bro.
Hey, look it. Maybe it is dudes like you and me, but I would fumble a lot more than just one time in a crucial situation on a punt return than Ray McLeod did, okay? I'd have at least 4 fumbles this season, not just the one. It's actually concerning. And right up until the injury report was released, you looked at the Detroit Lions and you said, yeah, the biggest worry this week is probably how many fake punts are they going to run? How many trick plays are they going to pull out? How many, gadget plays or onside kicks or whatever they're going to do to try and win this game, just like they've tried to win every game in the past. Now it's Yeah, the Detroit Lions are obviously not a great team, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are extremely banged up, and that's not good for them. And it's not just extremely banged up in both sides of the ball. It's your entire offense is hurt, and it's not looking good. Kendrick Green, you could say what you want about him the past couple of weeks. The backup's J.C. Hassenauer, and I think me and you can both agree that's just as concerning as Benny Snell Jr.
No, 100%. That goes back to what I said. I mean, this offensive line needs every ounce of help they can get. Say what you want about Kendrick Green. Kendrick Green is the team's best option at center right now, so they do have to roll with him and kind of let him grow through those rookie pains. And, kind of focusing on the Lions a little bit. I mean, they haven't won a game yet, but they've been pretty damn close a couple times this year.
Yeah.
And you see it. You see it week in and week out. They're a team that's fighting. They're a team that's hungry. As a former football player myself, I mean, I was always taught the hungriest dog is usually going to find something to eat, right? And so, what a week it would be for the 0-8 Lions to go into Heinz Field and then snatch a victory from a very depleted Steelers team, right? I mean, does this not spell trap game for you? Have we not watched the same Steelers team year in and year out? This is a game the typical Steelers football team usually sip up or at least struggle throughout the course of 3.5 quarters before pulling away, right?
Yeah, this is exactly what that is. I think the difference this year.
When's the last time you've seen the Steelers blow a bad team out?
No, never, ever. This is a game the Steelers lose. I think the difference this year is that the Steelers are also very bad. They're not a good football team. They've played okay enough football to win 5 games this season, but they're not a good football team, and I think they're aware of that. So, I think in the past, you have a lot of guys, and you could say whatever you want about whoever you want, and none of how they approach games changes who they are as a player. You got guys like Ben Roethlisberger. You had guys like Le'Veon Bell, like Antonio Brown. These guys would overlook teams, and that's pretty easy to say. Is these guys are very confident in themselves. They're very confident in their play, and they would look at teams and say, yeah, we are definitely going to win this one. And then they go in slow. Ben Roethlisberger started slow his entire career. There's never been a moment where you're like, Ben's going to come out here. He's probably going to throw 4 touchdowns in a row. That's never going to happen. This year, I feel like Ben and that entire offense, and especially the defense, is looking at it like our backs are up against the wall every single week because this is bad. We can lose any game at any moment if we do not execute properly. I think that's the difference. That being said, if they went in and lost this game against the Lions, I would not be surprised at all. I think you're 100% correct on that one.
No, not at all. And I'm just looking at the schedule right now. I mean, the win versus Buffalo, 7 points. The win versus Denver, 8 points. The win versus Seattle, 3. The win versus Cleveland, 5. The win versus Chicago, 2. These are all one-possession games. So you're telling me par for the course for the 2021 Steelers is a one-possession win versus the 0-8 Detroit Lions?
That's what I mean. It is by no means a guarantee that they walk out of here a win.
They should.
That being said, they should. They most definitely should. Without Najee Harris, without Kendrick Green, maybe without Ben Roethlisberger is going to play. No Chase Claypool, likely. Robert Spillane and Cam Hayward are definitely concerning and something to keep an eye on. I don't know, man. These are scary times.
Should, could, and would do not build bridges.
Yeah, I've actually never heard that before.
I never heard it until yesterday. So
I'm glad that you dropped it in here. I don't think that actually exists. I think somebody just dropped that on you. They were just like,
probably.
Should, could, and would build bridges? Is that what you just said?
They don't build bridges.
Should, could, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it does, because I should have done this, or I would have done that, or I could have done that. It doesn't actually do anything. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it does make sense. That's way too long and way too complicated. You got to think way too much about that one. I don't like that whatsoever. All right. Najee and Kendrick, definitely injuries to keep an eye on. Chase Claypool, we talked about him on Tuesday, talk about him more today, but it really does not look likely that he plays on Sunday, which means chances are Anthony Miller gets called up. That's exciting for Steelers fans. We'll get to see him a little bit, but I would expect a Cody White game. Definitely a lot of James Washington involved, and no matter what your parlay is, Deontay Johnson catches, over. They are most definitely the over. Which brings us to our picks, our bets, and our Week 10 same day 4-leg parlay. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's switch it up. Before we get into
we can't call it same day because we do have a Monday Night Football pick.
We do have a Monday Night Football game the same week.
Same week. I like
same week. Pretty sure the graphic says same day, but I'm glad that you pointed that out after we reviewed the graphic. Thank you for that. We're going to switch it up. We're going to do the picks first, I think, and then we'll do our same day 4-leg parlay. Actually, I take that back. Let's do the Steelers game first. Over under 42.5. Steelers are 8-point favorites hosting the Detroit Lions on Sunday, 1 o'clock at Heinz Field. I want to say it's going to be rocking. It should be a beautiful day in the city of Pittsburgh, but I don't know how many people are going to a Lions game. I don't know if I'd be going to a Lions game, but I'm still sure Heinz Field will be rocking. Let's start with the spread here. 8 points. You taking it?
God, man, like you really want to, don't you? You want to? You really think this team should be able to beat Detroit by 8 points, right? But like, if Najee doesn't play, and if Ben's weapons are depleted like they are, dude, But like on the other side of the ball, though, I mean, are we trusting Jared Goff to hit 10 points as a football team, 13, 14 points as a football team?
Okay, well, that's the thing. Do you trust the Steelers to hit 18 points as a football team? What? It goes both ways there.
Yeah, without Najee, things really change, man. I don't know.
Oh, if Najee doesn't play, the whole thing's scratched. I think, honestly, our same-day 4-leg parlay is a little concerning if Najee doesn't play.
Do you think Najee plays?
I do. I think Najee plays. I think tomorrow will be a major factor in that, but I do expect Najee to at least give it everything he's got to play. I don't see him being a guy that he suffered an injury on Thursday and he's done. I don't see that.
Do you think Kendrick Green plays?
That's a tough one. Hamstring injuries are rough, especially when you suffer them late in the week. It's Thursday. I would say, just for safe measure, Kendrick Green does not play. Najee probably does.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong on both those.
I'm going out on the limb. I think the Steelers win. I think the Steelers win regardless of score. 8 points though. It's a lot, but I'll still take it.
You're going to take it. You're taking the spread on the Steelers.
Yeah, man. I'm not comfortable about it.
I do not feel good about that at all whatsoever. I totally disagree. I think the Steelers are definitely going to win. I do pick them as winners. It's like a -400 money line on SI Sportsbook if you want to take that one. I do not think they beat them by 8 points. I think that there's so many factors. Like, for one, the Detroit Lions are going to do everything in their power to win a football game.
Yeah.
Every single thing in their power to win a football game. That's not good for the Steelers. Second, the Steelers nearly just lost to the Bears on Monday Night Football after being up 45 points at halftime. Nearly blew the lead. Did blow the lead if it wasn't for Chris Boswell and Presley Harvin, which does not get enough credit for that hold at the end of the game. Because if I'm a rookie who's never held a kick before until this season, and I just held it on a game-winning kick on Monday night, props. That's professionalism right there. No way that they cover 8 points. I could see them winning by a touchdown. I do not see them winning by more than a touchdown. I'm going to say the Steelers. I'm taking the Lions on the spread, though. Definitely taking the Lions.
I can't blame you at all. You don't even have to give me the number for the over/under. I'll take the under.
All right. Well, the number's 42.5. But yeah,
under. Yeah, I'll take that.
I agree. 42.5. There's no way. The end of this game could easily be 6-3, and I'd be like, yeah, that's about right. Especially if Najee doesn't play. Najee doesn't play. Definitely the under. Najee does play. Definitely the under. All right, so divided on the spread. Agreed.
Dude, I'm leaning with you, but I'm taking the spread just for.
Well, you're putting your money where your mouth is on
right now.
The 8, and that's what it is. All right.
Can't see it.
There it is. All right. Well, Donnie just lost a couple of bucks.
No, that's the under, not the spread.
Oh yeah, you should definitely take the under. Under is an easy one. Divided on the spread, I say there's not a chance. I don't even know if either team scores 8 points in this game. Yeah. It could be 8-0, though. That wouldn't shock me at all. Our same day 4-leg parlay, which includes a Monday night game, whatever, is up. It's live. This is what we're rocking with this week. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Las Vegas Raiders under 51.5. I got to say, this was a Donnie Druin special on that one. He's feeling real confident about these two teams not being able to hit anything. Why are you feeling good about that one?
Yeah, man, the Chiefs have not looked great at all. And I understand last week they went against a Packers defense that is fairly solid. I will say it's a pretty good defense. But Mahomes has regressed so much this year. I'm not super confident this is the week against a divisional opponent on the road where things can really get going. And then the Raiders are the Raiders, man. I mean, especially after losing Henry Ruggs. Not that he was like a key piece to their offense, but he did provide them a little bit with the ability to take the top off of a defense, kind of hit those big plays on the field. I'm just not super confident in any of these offenses. For over a 52, you're going to need 26 from each team. I don't know if either of these teams can hit 26 themselves, let alone another team kind of help them make up that ground. So I do feel pretty decent about this under.
All righty, so the under on those two teams, the Patrick Mahomes baby mama TikTok brother curse continues. I agree on that one. Cowboys 8.5 over the Falcons. I put my 2 cents in on this one. I felt that the Cowboys, yes, they got obliterated last week. It was embarrassing by the Denver Broncos. That does not happen again. Dak Prescott is going to bounce back. This team won 2 weeks ago with Cooper Rush as their quarterback. I get that last week they overlooked the Broncos a little bit, and I understand that. It turned out to be whatever it turned out to be. I do not expect that again. The Falcons are going to be riding high coming off a win over the Saints. The Cowboys are going to be real angry coming into the game. 8.5, I think that is a good one. The Rams, money line over the 49ers on Monday night. OBJ probably catches 15 touchdown passes. The 49ers are just terrible. I don't think that you could bet on Jimmy Garoppolo or Kyle Shanahan until proven otherwise. I think you agree on that one. Yep. And then the Steelers, money line over the Lions. I know we just went through this whole thing about how they're not going to cover the spread. Definitely the under. A bunch of injuries. It is still the Detroit Lions. They are 0-8. It would not shock anybody at all if they moved to 0-9. Dan Campbell is not going to be crying at the podium because it's not going to be that big of a blowout. Maybe he is going to be crying at the podium though, because it might be a closer game than expected. Maybe it's another heartbreaking loss. He poured his soul out to this one at 1:00 at Heinz Field. Feeling pretty good about it. Plus 616 odds, usually in our good money back. I think if you put a $10 bet, you'd win like $71, $75, something like that on the SI Sportsbook. Go win some money, man. We might have lost you a couple of bucks last week.
We won them a lot more bucks
the week before. The week before. And no, I don't think we hit any of anything last week. Last week was bad. The NFL didn't count last week. If we're being serious, not even slightly did it count. Nobody won money. We are classed right in with everybody else. Everybody got everything wrong outside of Derek the Kid, who somehow covered it, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand these things. This week, we're feeling good. This one's hitting. This same day 4-leg parlay is hitting. I can't wait to put my money on it. I hope you guys put your money on it. And I hope we all win money together. We just said that the Steelers are going to win. But it's time to pick some scores. Before we head out here, Donnie, what is your game prediction for the Steelers?
Dude, it's going to be a low-scoring game, man. It's going to be like, I'll go 20-10.
20-10 is not a low-scoring game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just going to let you know that.
It's over under 30, man.
Yeah, it's an over. The Steelers beat the Browns 2 weeks ago, 15-9. Okay, this is not a team that puts up lots of points. You just said 20-10. I do like that. I think it's less scoring than that, and which is like embarrassing for the Steelers. Should I do the 0? No. I kind of feel like they might shut them out. It could definitely happen. I'm not going to say that though. I don't think they score a touchdown, though. I don't think there's any chance that Detroit gets into the end zone. I'm going to say Steelers 17, Detroit. I need Detroit 9.
Like 6 or 9, yeah.
9. So that covers the spread still, keeps it on the under. Or it doesn't cover the spread, I mean. It would even out the spread, I guess. That would be 8, right? So that would just can't. Yeah. It would push. So I need 10, 17. We're going to go 16 to 9. That's a possible score. 16 to 9 Steelers. That is a football score. That could happen in a football game. 16-9 keeps me under the 8, keeps me under the under, which is the easiest bet in the whole world. Let's take all this with a grain of salt here before we head out. Me and Donnie both agree, and I feel like I could speak for Donnie in this one. This could easily be 40-0. Pittsburgh Steelers could easily be 40-0. Wouldn't shock anybody out there. We're just going to be realistic with this and say chances are the Steelers are still the Steelers of 2021. The offense is not looking good. Najee is dealing with his things now. We have to be cautious. That being said, go hammer that 4-leg same-day parlay. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. We will be back tomorrow with Fridays with Derek the Kid. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube at All Steelers Talk. Check us out on Twitter at Nostrack, at Donnie Drune, and we will see you tomorrow.